Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Good morning. Gotta check everything over here because I am using the new encoder. It says it's starting. It says it's live. And am I getting stuff? Alright, it looks good. Cool, so yes, okay, we're good. We're good. So I need to grab the links here now. Oh, and I need to get a Twitch link. Okay, that all looks good too. All right, so what do we got going on? Well, the E-mini has moved a little bit lower and treasuries have moved a little bit higher, but not by a lot, and things look extremely tight and range bound. And this morning we have goods trades balance and preliminary wholesale inventories, and the Federal Reserve Chairman is testifying pending home sales. Also, Michael Cohen testifying to Congress. There's been a lot of leaks about what he's going to say. It sounds pretty explosive, but probably everything priced in because we already know what he's going to say. So yeah, there's that. Oh. Somebody passing to me the live squawk, but it's 30 seconds delayed. I don't know. I think, okay, yeah, we're only delayed by about a second or two, so I think we're good. I think we're good, guys. At least on Twitch. Bum 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 bum. Nope, did we get? I had some people liked my I'm getting a lot of good comments on my political analysis videos, so that makes me happy. Okay. Beta reverses gain after slide show serious adverse event. President Trump and North Korea's Kim Jong-un opened their second summit with smiles, friendly banter. Okay. So not seeing a whole lot. Man. Yeah, we might have some time to chat today because this market looks like incredibly range bound. Like we've only been able to move 9 ticks overnight, and here on the open we've developed a range of 4 ticks essentially. No clue which way this is going to go. Well, the 6J has been selling. And we are below the open, so I think that I would have to prefer shorts. Maybe like right there. What else we got going on here? Bull bear zone is pretty useless because it's like the whole range. We are at the top of the range. That's the thing. Like yesterday, was it yesterday? Yes, yesterday we had a push up to that 12. And it didn't break out. And they went up and they touched it in the overnight, and only 297 contracts went through there. I don't know. I suspect that we're going to have, well, two things could happen. One, the stock market could just absolutely fall apart, and we could bust out through the top of this range, and it could just get absolutely crazy. That's one possibility. But the more likely possibility is, or the more likely two possibilities is, it goes sideways and does almost nothing, or B, it goes down and into some of yesterday's range, perhaps testing as low as 035. Well, they're leaving, the train has left the station without me. JPY is pushing. Hmm. Oh, do I have it? I do. Somebody here on Origin. Bum, 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 ba-dum. What you guys thinking? U.S. December advanced good trades balance negative 79.5 billion versus 73.9 billion expected. U.S. wholesale inventories month over month
Block sell.
1% expected versus 0.4%. Okay. So trades balance was worse than expected. Inventories were better than expected. Rubio fears Trump Kim summit will be a dangerous fellow. Why is Rubio keep talking? I'm just saying. December retail inventories spot 9 versus spot 2% expected. Love good numbers. Futures on S&P 500 Treasuries and oil pause in CME outage. Technical error at the CME Group Incorporated forced the world's biggest exchange operator to halt trading for about 3 hours, preventing the buying and selling of contracts tied to U.S. Treasuries. This must have been overnight. Okay. That affects things. Future contracts on the S&P 500 index and those on U.S. Treasury leads were a little changed after the open. Yep, that would be annoying. I wonder what kind of a glitch they could have at the exchange cause that. Ooh, they're gonna reverse on us here. This is kind of one of those kind of days. I don't. That's a little suspicious to me. Because they hit that 085 pretty hard. They're coming back up on 090, but they're not actually bidding up very much. You know? Yeah, see, only 99 went into it. I mean, it did go bid and everything, but like the chances of getting filled here. Strange rollover price gaps. Oh. Yeah. Darn. We should, how do we do this? I forget how we do it. Did we roll over? Thinking I should. It looks, it's just too light now. And it's like running without me, so let's roll over. Database management. Yep, it says it's time to roll over. It's May expiry. Why did I think that it was June? Okay. Oh yeah, I can see these huge rollover gaps. Okay. So now over here, we gonna let's just restart Jigsaw because it's not catching him. Okay. Oh, okay. That one is supposed to be. This one, though, is ZB. Why does. Hmm. What is 06? Okay. I'm a little confused as to why I thought it was. There we go. Oh, yeah, there's way more liquidity here. Okay, well, could get filled there at 19. Hmm. Yeah, I've started on March, just rolled. Okay. Alligator kind of thinking the same thing. We better liquidity over here. Gotcha. Good. Good deal. That's crazy. Okay, we did get film. I'm okay with the way it looks. That's a big rollover gap. Are they just going to attack the rollover gap? Heavy exchange of fire in multiple locations along the line of control between India and Pakistan right now. Developing. Okay. Don't show President Trump this record breaking trade deficit chart. Well, of course, the deficit's high because we're in the middle of a trade war, guys. Mm-mm. I'm feeling like my lips are super dry. So I'm thinking, did I drink enough water? I don't feel particularly thirsty, but I was able to down a bunch of water there. Well, I got a tick here. Look at that big size at 14. I'm a little skeptical, given how tight the overnight range was, and my suspicions that perhaps there's some reason for people to be concerned, and also the E-mini kind of looking down a little bit. Um, so I'm a little suspicious about it. Not suspicious. Let's say skeptical. I'm a little skeptical that they could make it all the way to 14. But I guess we'll see what happens. So like this headline that India and Pakistan are fighting. That's the sort of thing that could move us up. But hmm. I mean, there's a decent amount that have gone into 18.5 and have gotten absorbed, so they're kind of saying that they could go further. That's my take on it. I do have a friend here. I wonder if they'll come in and we can teach them what's going on. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Sigma Squawk picking up the India Pakistan thing. I don't think that the Japanese yen really cares. Mm-hmm. Oh. I know there's a pretty good downtrend going on here and everything, but it's super slow, isn't it? There you go. Look at this. Look at this stuff showing up at 16. Wow. Well, it's telling me maybe they could stop, but the way that it's going back and forth, I kind of feel like a little bit like yesterday. So I think that this time, and because there's a gap and because it's Wednesday, we can keep this one. Can keep this one. We have to, at the very least, move our stop. How to sell the art your parents spent their lives collecting, from Bloomberg Business. People who regulate charter schools also make millions off of them, I'm sure. That's from my local news. See, look at that. That is a lot. So at 17.5, seeing the amount absorbed there would normally be like a sign, a potential exit point. Anytime you see a big iceberg, that's a potential exit point for sure, right? But seeing 5,200 on the offer after such a big rush down like that, you know, it's basically like people are taking it, expecting perhaps more. That's, I don't know, the way that the way that the 5 year came down there in particular seems a little stoppy. So I think that they might need to pull back here. Okay, yeah. See, they did trade a little bit into 18. We could maybe get a little bit of a pullback here. I think they might see man. Wow, really? Hmm. I mean, I kind of was not expecting anything like too spectacular, just because. Oh my gosh. So I'm saying oh my gosh here because they made 17 go offer, but they only had to trade like 1,500 contracts to do it, and now they're threatening a new low again. That's like super crazy. Um, I don't know. Like it was such a tight overnight range that often doesn't lead to very good trading. Well, we do have this big rollover gap. I mean that could be a thing, and it's Wednesday, so on Wednesday I'm allowed to try and take something, but you know the speed of that move down is very surprising to me. Good morning, Uzi. You late again? Yeah, because I think you already missed some of the best fun. I feel like I missed some of the best fun. I really wanted to be short up at like what would have been. I don't know what it would be in this contract. Probably like 21. I'm already about done. I went short at 146.07. Damn, boy. Uh, and you're aiming to get out at 24, huh? Boy, you did good. You did good. Yeah, this is alligator noting here as well that it's very, very steep, but the pressure still continues, so maybe they touch 16. So there they touch 16, and there's Uzi gets filled. So good deal. I'm very happy for both of you guys. Well, I don't know if alligator took a position there, but I'm really happy for you, Uzi. That was a good trade. You got the one that I was kind of thinking about getting, but missed. Life Squawk says Telecom Italia reaches deal with union on 4,300 job cuts. Ew. I was listening to goofy podcasts, so I was distracted. I mean, how are we supposed to trade without your expert advice, dude? That's why I missed it. Obviously, man, 8,000 at 16. And it goes offer and they're trading 15 half. Holy mackerel. Really wish I had taken this one on 2 contracts. I come here for your expert advice, you give. I appreciate it. I'm an expert now, guys. And that okay. I think that I need to take this off here for a little bit. So there's always games at 16, and it does look like they're saying that we're gonna rotate around this a little bit. I'm wondering if we could potentially get back to 17 half. Could sell it short there. Yeah, see, it's stacking up. Was a little late on that. As soon as that uptick, my chance to get out on that one was probably gone. Merkel would agree Brexit extension, but Macron may not. Why would he not? Huh. You help me remember shit. I do trade with or against you thing. I make my own decisions, but listening and interacting here does help me stay on track with what to look for. Totally. I think that the social interaction can help you focus. I mean, it's hard because for me, I definitely have a tendency to go off on tangents and to like go off on something completely different and not pay as close attention to the markets as maybe I should. But every time that you have a social interaction, that like there's a chemical reaction going on in your brain, like a little bit of oxytocin goes out, and that could put you a little bit more in tune with the way that other people trading this might be feeling. You get a little bit of norepinephrine there, and that can help you focus. It totally makes a difference. I think, I guess that's kind of one of my thoughts behind running our trading room the way that we have, because a lot of people look at it as like you have this one guy that he's a really good trader and everybody can follow his trades if they want and they should be profitable, and you pay a ton of money to be in that room to receive this guy's expert advice. I don't necessarily see it the way. I mean, obviously you want to talk to the best traders that you can, and you want to be around the best traders that you can. But I think that just the simple act of interacting with other people while you're trading is probably more important than getting the expert advice from the person. It's like having anybody to talk to probably makes a difference. Okay, I did get filled at 16. I'm happy with it. If it comes back to here, I want to take that, but it's unlikely. Let's not say unlikely. At the moment, there's a lot of size stacked there, so I don't know if that's going to fill. But when you get gaps like this in the one range chart, so like this right here, we've come to 18, and then we traded 17 half and 17, and you notice here at 17 half that there's nothing on the offer. So when they traded down to 17, nothing bought back into 17 half. So they took 2 ticks. And that causes a gap on my one range chart. And I've noticed that when they do that, they have a tendency that if they're going to come back, they come back and they fill that gap. Yeah, it's also nice to hear off voice throughout the day. My wife has an office, so she's not here with me during the day. Just 3 sleeping. Oh, you have 3 dogs. I have 2 dogs. Oh my gosh, my dog. Well, I can't show you. But oh, by the way, I am gonna have to remember to wake up the kids today because my wife went into work super early. So probably here at about we're right after equities open. Probably I should go wake them up if they're not already up. Anyways, my wife went and got the dogs a haircut because we've got terriers, right? Yorkies. We got Yorkies. And their hair was getting pretty long, so she went and got them cut. And I have two of them. One is blonde, and one is kind of like dark ragdoll kind. So like her hair is kind of like fluffy, and it's actually kind of nice. But the blonde, and also he has pointy ears and she doesn't. She has floppy ears, right? And he just looks great. Like he's an old dog, but looks like a little puppy. It's so cute. It's so cute, right? But the girl, they cut everything except for her ears. So like her ears are like way too long. Oh, you've got huskies, man. 3 huskies must be a real hassle. Those dogs can be so hyper, man. Anyways, she looks completely ridiculous. She just looks absolutely ridiculous. Maybe when the kids get here, I will show you. Because I yell at her, like I'll come home and I'll yell at her and like, Sadie, you still look ridiculous. Get that haircut. And she just looks at me like she knows. She knows that she looks ridiculous. But the other dog, he looks like a puppy. I'm like, I bet you. I told my wife, she's like, no, anybody that knows anything about dogs would know that you're full of crap. But I was saying to her, hey, we should tell people that he's only like, a year old and see if they believe us. Because he's like 15 or something. It's not bad. Like any other dog, they kind of mold to your routine, they know what I'm doing till noon, so they just sleep. Oh, that's good. Huskies are definitely fun dogs to play with. Pretty crazy move. Yeah, alligator's saying, it's steep, hard to time a bounce, and then he said maybe 16. So it was kind of bouncing a little bit, and then it took another little dive down to 16, and then it reversed there to 16, so he called it almost perfectly there. As it pertains to my trade, I was only aiming for 146 evens, but the book was just super short, and the volume was spiking above average at some bids pulling, and I just did the same thing, kept pulling, and my bid and settled on that 24. That's good. But what was it that initially made you take the trade at 07? It was 07, yes. Because The only reason I wanted to go short up there was because of how negative the Japanese yen was looking, and that had been a dominant factor in trade as of late. And so I thought, okay, probability is lower, and it looks like there's a good opportunity for me to maybe get filled here. I didn't get filled, but you know, it's just like, ugh. I was expecting maybe I could get the range or maybe like the low, but for it to just the bottom to completely fall out like it did, it was very unexpected in my opinion. Hmm. Nate Silver, here's my view on whether the Green New Deal is smart politically. Is this good politics or bad politics? It sounds as if we're on the fence for whether or not the Green New Deal will be good politics for Democrats. Nate Silver. I'm not on the fence so much as I just have no effing clue. I guess the heuristic is what we tried before didn't work, so let's try something new, which I suppose on some level I agree with. He doesn't know. Just the offers holding at 07. I still stick with my quarter points for trades. So 08 was my ideal offer, but it didn't look like it was going to get filled there, so I took a chance at 07. I gotcha. I gotcha. That was a really good trade. I mean, to 07, so that's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So just a tick shy of $500 per contract. And you're going like what, 5 contracts? It was like a $2,500 trade. That's really good. That's like let's say that you want to live on $100,000 a year, or maybe like $5,000 a month. You know, that's like half of what you need for the month right there. I did 5 on that one. Yeah, that's good. Super impressed. See, they're kind of acting a little skittish around the 17 half. When you get that spot that kind of slips through like that, they always do that. Now it's something interesting to me. The 5 and the 10 year have popped up a little bit, but ZB is still flat down there at 24. Shit, if every day could be that good, right? Yeah, for sure. The when I was trading ZB, um, I always knew that like 16 tick trade happens, and you can get them fairly frequently. But for some reason, I always had a really hard time getting it, and I was always like, "Oh man, you know, I had that thing short, and then I wasn't sure, and so I took the easy profit, and it did end up going down to the level that I was looking at, and you know, all that sort of stuff. So it's like, you know, 16 is good. I had one. I think the biggest I ever took was 24. And I had one day where if I had really stuck to my guns, I could have made over 32. But I didn't. I was too chicken. U.S. Trade Representative Robert Lighthizer will testify in front of the House at 10 a.m. Eastern Time as China and the U.S. tried to strike a deal to avoid a full-blown trade war. WGW's former top bull Davidson cuts PT from 23 to 223 from 137. Who is this guy? Davidson. Who is this? What? Oh, no. Oh, Weight Watchers. That's why Zero Hedge is making a joke that he, shall we say, underweight because he's from Weight Watchers. 16 is tough, but 8 isn't too hard if the volume is good. I mean, a cursory look at historical prices will show reactions at 0, 8, 16, 24 handles just need the right flow signals at those prices. But if I'm in a trade and it's just streaming in the right direction, I kind of wing it, pulling my limit up and down before stopping at a quarter point or just marketing out. Yeah. Well, I think that that's a good way to do it because it definitely does um what is the word I'm looking for? What am I reaching for here? Um it definitely does stuff at those quarter points. Well, all of the prices like John is really good at paying attention to that. So like in ZB, it's evens, 16. Evens and 16 are the weirdest ones. 16, there's always shenanigans, right? And then the quarter points, so like 8 and 24. And then the other weird one is the tens. Like you see, they stopped here at 146.10. I tried to do a study to try and show that happened. And I was trying to see, okay, are they more likely to, if there is a swing, like I put the swing indicator on a chart and then I did an analysis to see where does the point actually end up getting drawn at. Is it more likely to be at 10 or whatever? And I discovered it didn't show me exactly what I thought, right? I think we actually did this on stream, in fact. It didn't show me exactly what we wanted, but the one thing that it did show me was that they were unlikely to pivot at 13. They were more likely to pivot at 12 and at 14 than they were at 13. It's like so somebody out there, whether it's a big trader or something programmed into an algorithm or something, but there is a very, very, very slight statistical anomaly at 13 in ZB. So individual prices totally matter. Totally matters. Ace says he's looking at a short. Hmm. I don't know if our order up here at 17.5 is going to get filled. I'm kind of tempted to just short it at 16.5 because I'm wondering if they're going to retrace the whole gap. Okay, so he got filled on a short. Kind of looks to me like you're just catching kind of the top of the range. It's not a bad spot to do it. So they don't necessarily have to fall apart for that trade to work really well. House panel seeks to depose Trump attacks ethics attorneys. Well, that is a big offer at 16. Maybe it's going to go without me. If volume stays beefy below 24. You Treasury boys. So that's not the first time that they touched 15.5. So I should be careful here. And they're touching 20 now in ZB. So 20 is kind of one of those prices where we see something weird. But that offer at 16, holy shnikes. I would like to just sell it here. But doing it right at the bottom of the range in this particular situation is a little sketch to me. Yeah, I sim it now and again, but I've never put anything real on it. The thing that I like about Ace's strategy, the thing that kind of makes it appealing to me, is that he very often will take a trade at around 7:05 to 7:15 time period. So the E-mini's not really moving super crazy when he takes it. He kind of gets around the big problem in yes, which is that it could get really wild and it can just run stops and then reverse on you, and it's hard to hold a spot. He can take it there. Take it short. What price did he say he was taking? 27.86. 27.86. Well, let's just say for the sake of argument that it's 27.87 because that's where it is right now. Given where we are and the range that it's been trading in, I think if you get filled there at 27.87, there's a pretty good chance that they're going to go down to the other end of this, and you could take, could potentially get 27.85, right? That's 2 points. You good? And you got the range. Mr. Speaker announces his provisional selection of amendments for Brexit. Here comes 16. And they are hitting into my 14. That was kind of where I wanted to get it. It just, it did what I expected. I just not quite the price that I wanted, so I wasn't able to take advantage of it. Is anyone else getting connection problems? So I changed the encoder today, so it might be a little off. Or maybe the video quality. I mean, one thing. Oh, by the way, I should double check here on. I don't have it. Okay. Maybe it's because I don't. Hold on a second. Let me look up here. Maybe I have something set wrong. Was it that I need to change my keyframe interval? In the past week. There's this guy. Where is he? Mm-hmm. Interesting that I'm having a hard time finding it. I have to do. Man, if I had caught that, that would have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So still would have been a great trade. It's just some crazy downtrend. So now that they got to the 14, to fill the gap, they would need to get to 11.5. I don't see anything down there, but it's definitely doable. Definitely doable. Where is he? Huh. Oh, here it is. This guy right here. Yes, I think it is. Now I have to sit through a 30-second ad. You don't normally have problems today, though, right? But I will say that I stream at like 1440p, and especially if you're just listening, that's probably not necessary to to watch it at that rate, right? No, it's going to show me 2 ads, huh? The big. I don't know. I think that they're going to fill them there. Yes, this is it. Okay. Ah. So he's saying that I should set my keyframe interval to 2. Can I change that on the fly? I guess I can. I'm doing it at 2500. I should do that at like 8. See if it'll. Let's see if it'll actually go up to that. View stats. Oh, I know there's a way to do it. There it is. Okay, so it's only giving me 6. So I should change that. Okay. So I don't know if that'll make a difference like there on the fly, but Are you guys seeing anything weird on the stream? You're all still there? You all still there? Crap, I missed all that stuff said about me, how I come in and just snipe a bit before the opening, and how handsome and smart I am. I mean, I've never seen a picture of me, so I don't know if that's true. I mean, I would assume. I've never seen a picture of him, but just based on how good of a trader he is, just based on that alone, you'd have to assume that he's probably better looking than me. Probably. There you go. There's 14. 7K. They go offer, and they still put an aggressive offer on it. Holy shit. Picture if Cary Grant had a baby with with Brad Pitt. Dude. That's hilarious. So people tell me, my ex-wife used to tell me that she thought that I was a mix between like Eminem and that guy from Lieutenant Stapler from Special Victims Unit. That's what she thinks I look like. Or like if the guy that plays Niles on Kramer, they combined Niles and Eminem together, and that's what I look like. That's what she says. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's weird. You guys still there? Oh, you know what? That's why. I'm seeing that because I switched users there for a second to try and find the video with the information. You're a diet Moby, bro. Yeah. There we go. Okay, that looks a little better. Okay, so can you see? Tell me if you have any other video issues, because I went in here and I changed my output settings a little bit. So, probably could do high quality, but I'm not gonna mess with that. But changing that keyframe interval should fix your the browser. Sorry, like your video player from getting lost. So that should fix that problem. Set the keyframe interval to 2 and the bitrate to 6, and I think we should be good there. And in fact, well, I won't change now. I think I actually could do 8, but blah 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 blah. When I do it this way though, if I click play here, watch it myself. That looks good. It looks okay at 8K, so. It looks like YouTube is a little bit delayed. Yeah, it's way delayed. At least on my stream, it's way delayed. Low latency. I don't know. I look like I haven't slept in 4,000 years. I look like an old catcher's mitt that was left out for the winter. Oh, man. Ouch. It's been a really harsh winter, too, hasn't it? I mean, should I leave? Should I leave my order up there at 17.5? You think that there's really a chance that it's going to go back up there and get it? I don't think that there is. Maybe it could come back to 16. Yeah. I don't know. Okay, Twitch looks like it's okay now too. It looks like when I did change the settings, viewers went down for a second and now it's back, so So probably changing the setting probably did reset a few of you. But I think we should be okay now. But let me know if you've got problems. So the gap would be 11.5. He usually feels like that ZB is a little bit more balanced here now. Let's fix all our junk here. Bada boom. And that boom. There we go. Anyway, there's a decent amount. I think that we're getting at least a temporary pullback here for sure. But it's like, will they even be able to get back to 16? You know, how big was the pullback the last time? 1, 2, 3, 4. Hmm. Okay, well, here goes the E-mini. It looks like Ace should have gotten his profit there, yeah? Before the open. Yes, I gotta remember here after we see the first 15 minutes of the E-mini and whatnot, I gotta make sure that children are awake. Just a matter of how big it will be, yeah. I mean, if this is still like a heavy downtrend trying to retrace the open, or the gap rather, ZB probably won't make more than 6 ticks back up, which means that it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They would maybe come back to 21. But look at that. They're pushing it down so effing hard. And the E-mini's moving up, it's pushing them down too. And I can't take it there, man. That's just too much. It may yet go, but like that's just too. Ugh. The probability of it continuing on there is like so low, and maybe that's exactly why it might do it. But ugh. The initial impulse in the E-mini was green, and that was pretty strong. Yeah, I wouldn't expect anything crazy like a complete retrace of the day or anything. I think you'd be lucky to get a 4 to 8 tick pullback right now. Oh. If even a pullback. The way that it's going right now. US stock market slip at the open, says Forex Live, but what I'm seeing is some pretty strong buying, trying to bring it back up into yesterday's close. So that's a stupid headline, Forex Live. Stupid headline, I think. Which wouldn't say markets slip, because that's saying that they did of the verb. That's a verb. That's a thing that happened at the open. But they didn't. There wasn't a slip at the open. It should be U.S. stock markets open slightly lower for the day. Unless the offers just give up out of nowhere, right? It's just crazy. I'm almost half tempted to go to buy 13.5, but I know that that's really stupid. I know that would be a really dumb thing to do. Hmm. Okay, well, the E-mini is slowing down there. I think that they're going to move down a little bit. You should see a temporary, a short, small will move down in the ES here, I think. Watch live. Powell faces off against Maxine. Who is this? Ah, here is the stream. We got it this time. We get it this time. We cover up Bitcoin. Is that okay with you guys? Where's the Oh, that's weird. Doesn't think I'm signed in. Oh, because that's Chrome. That's why. Because it's in Chrome. There we go. There we go. No, not the whole screen. Good grief. Well, we might not even need to see it, so I'm just gonna leave it like that for now. They're still going lower, guys. Ugh. This is just cray. Is ZB gonna go to 08? I don't know. It looks to me like they're being pushed down by the E-mini, and I think that there's a good chance that the E-mini is going to have a little bit of a pullback and retest of 2786. So it's really difficult for me to just mark it into 12.5, right? Oh, I guess I don't need to have this up yet because it's not till 8 o'clock, right? Bum, bum, bum. Close that and that and that. Hmm. It's not turning yet. Oh yeah. Don't forget the kids in 5 minutes. You know what? I'm like I should just go and do it right now because it's just painful to watch this continue to go down and not be able to do anything. So I'm going to do it. Okay. And that wasn't too hard. It moved down a tick. 65 went into 12. And the E-mini is still pushing. It's pushing up into the highs of the session. So you're still not getting the pullback in the E-mini that I was thinking we might get. I feel like while Seth is gone, we should plan a big party at his house. You guys flying in, Seth's paying for it. Oh crap, he's back. Well, so I was thinking about this actually. I'm just not sure how to, like the logistics of it. By the way, my chart over here in the CB is like totally jacked up. I need to like reload all historical data. That's what I'm gonna do. Like I think we should try and do a get together for everybody in the Discord and on the stream. It's just like, where would you do it and how would you do it in a way that would be like acceptable, I would think that you would want to do it like in August. That when is it? It's kind of like just before school starts, and there tends to be a lot of vacations around that time anyways. Swisso was a stinking bazillionaire. He could pay for it all. Right. Not. It's just a question of like where would be like the optimal place to do it and so forth. I think that probably the best thing to do would be to like piggyback off of something else. But there's like there, for instance, I know that there are conferences for traders, but it kind of seems to me like that those conferences are mostly for charlatans. So don't know if that's the best place to do it. But I think that you know it should be somewhere where there would be another reason other than just that to get together, you know. But I'm just not sure what it is. So I'm kind of been, I don't know, keep your eyes out. Maybe there'd be some event that a lot of people would be interested in going to that we could all meet up at. Good fucking grief. Okay. So ZN has closed the gap. And okay. Yep. Except for in ZB, the ZB is the one that's weird because its gap is up here. It's different from this one. That must be what John and Alligator were referring to earlier. Is that gap? Like if the crown jewels went on tour? Right, exactly right. There. So now that the gap is closed, now what? Is it safe for us to take longs down here now? Could be. Here we are. M careful here. ZT stopped. TS heading into support. Yeah, and like technical levels on a chart aren't really helpful because of the rollover. Could change it. I suppose now that the gap doesn't matter, I could change my chart back to let's try it. Let's change it back to back adjusted market data, merge back adjusted. Okay. ZF reload all historical data. Okay. So now that I have back adjusted it, I can see there is maybe a little bit more room to go on the downside, perhaps to 145.06. Oh, that's ZV. ZN, it is. ZF, it is 122.085. Which is where they have some orders at. Okay. Okay, so we got a picture. So I still don't think it's safe to short it or to long it. Thomas, I was long ZN, had to bail at this point, reversed because if we dump here, we dump, I think, close the gap. Oh, I missed that. Yes. There was a real rollover gap that they decided to go for. I really feel like that's the only reason they moved down. It was so sharp, you know? Like we were waiting for a pullback to get short at 17.5. We never got it. Missed a great trade there, man. I'm so mad about it. Well, I shouldn't be mad that I got a 6-tick winner today, but good effing grief. I do see some support here, like maybe I can get a tick here. You can kind of see you're finally getting that pullback in the E-mini. Hearing that government will back Yvette Cooper's amendment, which formalizes May pledges on a timetable for potential Brexit delay, but senior Tories expecting some Eurosceptic MPs to rebel and vote against. Japanese yen pushed down through all that too, by the way, but they're maybe at a potential support zone, so we'll watch that. We'll watch that. Just gonna stay with the momentum on this, yes. So my chart still shows the potential to touch 08 half. Let's see. Even trying to go long for a tick apparently is too much. Okay. What corporate diet? 8 IG issues to price today, 6 of which included 10 and or 30-year tenures, resulting in widespread rate locks and sending 10 years sliding. Maybe they were just retracing what does IG issues? I'm just gonna respond back to him. Oh wait, 5 would be at previous structure, so same as relevant. Yeah. We'll try it here again. I see the possibility to go to 08.5, but it looks like that they're getting at least a short-term bounce, if not some sort of a reversal. I mean, now that you're here at 11.5, where the rollover has been completed, it wouldn't surprise me to see some buying. But the E-mini is really coming down too, and that appears to be what's pushing them right now. I'm surprised that that's not filling. Well, you got long at 11.5. Hmm. Yeah, if we make it up there, who's to say that we can't go further? Right. Like, if this whole thing was just a rollover gap thing, and then E-mini decides, like, okay, now you guys have done your technical move. Now it's time for us to actually get down to business. The whole thing could completely retrace. Could totally. So, would be fitting, wouldn't it? Yeah. Market has to maximize irony, right? Here you go. A pretty aggressive bid there. Okay, so you did trade down through that. That E-mini is starting to look kind of scary. So they've basically everybody that got in from the E-mini open have gotten out. But they are a little bit higher than what they were. So this could still be bullish with, and that this is just a pullback. That's possible. But it could also mean that they're going to push down to here and the cumulative delta would be more. And that could push us to new lows in the E-mini, which could in turn push treasuries back up. Reports suggest Lighthizer has been unhappy with the reforms the Chinese have committed to so far and that the president is compromising too much. We believe Lighthizer is trying to use today's testimony to make a last-ditch effort to slow down the president's push for a deal. Holy shit. Well, fuck. I just got fucked. Yeah, as I'm reading that. They filled my other order and they just went right down there. That's so. Why would they go down? If that's a piece of news that is pushing us, why they go like that? Well, there's a lot being absorbed there at 10. So we're gonna have like 3 or 4 things going on all at the same time here. I don't think that any of these things should be like directly affecting markets. But yeah, and there is news too. fix my cumulative delta here again. That move down is a stop run with a high probability of flipping. Ten and a half being balanced too. Should have waited, and I could be taking it long at 10.5 right now. Alligator missed this last leg below 11.5. Now S209 very close. In my opinion, position's starting to close. The E-mini kind of being weird. Okay, pending home sales 4.6% versus 1% expected. That's good. Factory orders 0.1 versus an expected spot 6%. Not as good as expected. So kind of mixed numbers, but the market doesn't seem to be reacting to it super strongly. Ten and a half still acting like it's the balanced price. Nope. No. I'm surprised that I couldn't get 11. Super surprised. Well, I blew it on what should have been a small trade. I should have put my stop a little bit closer. Fuck. Is it catching them for you? Still holding with the tear in my eye? No. That spot was wrong, for sure. So 09 is acting a little bit better, more healthy, but now something kind of strange is going on here. That there must be something else going in now, because the Japanese yen is just absolutely careening down.
It's just been down this whole way, and treasuries have gone the same way, even though equities are kind of moving down. And too large of a stop, yeah. Yeah, exactly. That sort of thing can happen, though, every once in a while. The move down below 11.5 is unusual. It's kind of sucks. Like, in a move like this, everybody knows that there's a strong trend down. Like, everybody knows that it's doing a crazy thing, but nobody knows where it's going to stop. And what makes trading, where the skill in this kind of trading comes from, is knowing what prices you can get filled at. You know, when I tried to get filled at 17.5, it never happened, right? That sort of a thing. If I just put it down one point, probably would have gotten filled and could have caught a bunch of that. With a single order in out. So my question is where you put your stop at, right? Because um, after something like that, you probably should have gotten stopped out, like I did. You have it at 08 currently. So I always put mine 4 ticks out because that's the average range. So if I'm losing 4 ticks on a trade, then that means that either I'm completely wrong about the direction, or I got in at the exact opposite side of the range that I should have. I use pretty wide stops, but it's not really good if I can't scalp a bit as well. Sure. I mean, if you're going to do like, if you're doing like more of a swing trade, then a larger split stop is acceptable, and you can totally, like, if you have multiple contracts, try and just take a few out. Doing things a little differently today. Okay. Yeah. Oh, by the way, do we get the Committee of Financial Services? Okay. It's live. Well, I don't like the way that I got filled there. Hmm.
The committee will come to order. Without objection, The chair is
Whoa,
authorized
Maxine
to
Waters
recess
chairs
of the
this committee.
at any time.
Oh,
This
man.
hearing is entitled Monetary Policy.
It's a little
and the State
scary
of
that
the
she can
Economy.
get that
And
position.
so I will now recognize myself for 4 minutes to give an opening statement. Chairman Powell, welcome back to the committee.
I'm sorry. I probably shouldn't be inserting
I'm
my
concerned
political opinion there that
about some
strongly,
of the
but good
actions of
man.
President Trump and his administration, and perhaps you may be asked some questions today about whether or not it is affecting the Fed's decisions. President Trump has manufactured the longest government shutdown in our nation's history, which, beyond the needless harm inflicted on effective government employees, contractors, and other businesses, also hurt our economy and outlook. However, this president declared a trade war on allies and enemies alike, leveling tariffs on steel and aluminum and threatening to rip up other deals. His trade war
blah,
is
blah.
bringing down consumer
This is
and
to talk to
business
the Federal Reserve Chairman. Nobody cares.
this tax scam, which was a giveaway to the wealthy in corporate America, is slated to reduce government revenue by $1.8 trillion over the next 10
Okay.
years. Each of these actions by a Trump administration were noted in the minutes of the Fed's January policy meetings and may have weighed in on the Fed's decision to pause further interest rate increases. In the midst of what some fear is slowing growth, the administration's economic policies are fueling the fire of a possible downturn. It is critical that the Federal Reserve remain vigilant in protecting this economy. The last matter I want to raise pertains to the Federal Reserve's apparent efforts to modify Dodd-Frank safeguards Congress and your predecessors at the Fed put in place following the financial crisis. In particular, I'm concerned
What the
that
fuck?
the Fed
As
is
soon as I get
following
out, it just
some
goes
of the,
crazy? What?
Trump Treasury Department's deregulation roadmap, deregulatory roadmap to weaken the capital and liquidity buffers on some of the largest banks. This is particularly troubling given that many economists, including many at the Federal Reserve, believe that bank capital levels are at the lower level.
Lighthizer says more China purchases alone not enough for deal.
Banks earned
Lighthizer trying to scuttle Trump's deal.
$236.7 billion
I see.
in annual profits in 2018. The largest 6 banks alone raked in over $120 billion. Given these record profits,
Well, I give up.
capital and liquidity requirements.
I give up.
If anything,
Fuck.
given your concerns about the economy, now is not the time to take the guardrails off of this industry. The Fed should also be concerned with the growing economic inequality in this country. In 2016, the Fed survey of consumer finances stated that the top 1% of U.S. families own 38.6% of the wealth. The Minneapolis Federal Reserve Bank reported that over the last 70 years, virtually no progress has been made in reducing income and wealth inequalities between black and white households. So
This is just exactly the way it always happens, ain't it?
work to tackle the scourge of economic inequality. And so I know that we just had a moment to talk about
All
some of these
Democrats have
issues.
to do is open their mouths and look what happens. No, I'm pretty sure that this is because Lighthizer is trashing the China deal.
And you may want to talk about those a little bit today. So I look forward to your testimony and to discussing these matters with you. And so the chair now recognizes the ranking member of the committee, the gentleman from North Carolina, Mr. McHenry, for 4 minutes for an opening statement.
Thank you. Thank you, Chairwoman Waters. Thank you, Chairman Powell.
I'm going to make him a
his
little
confirmation last year as Fed Chairman,
less loud.
Mr. Powell has prioritized outreach to Congress and public disclosure of Fed activities. And members and the public have benefited from
There, that's a little better. Can you still hear that?
facing interaction. I'm hoping
Yeah, that should be okay. Maybe a little louder.
It's important for the long-term integrity of the institution and highlights the open book approach to Fed policy that is necessary for long-term market stability and understanding of Fed
I
policy.
mean, that would have been my trade. I would be out and I could be done.
The economy over the last 2.5 years has witnessed remarkable growth, and unemployment has reached lows that many
The
once
E-media is
believed
dying.
impossible. Republican-led efforts for tax relief and regulatory reform have supported these trends, with millions of Americans benefiting through those policies, as a result of those policies, and millions more seeing their wages
Right.
grow.
Is he saying the same thing? Maxine Waters isn't? No, she apparently is running the meeting.
And undertaking targeted rulemaking to provide regulatory right-sizing will help continue that trend. And it's important to economic growth and stability
Well, shit.
for the pace to be At the same time, I share the Fed's concerns that global economic uncertainty could prove challenging here at home. As the minutes of the last FOMC meeting made clear, Europe and China in particular represent risks the Fed should continue to monitor and, where appropriate, work to mitigate. In Europe, the specter of a no-deal Brexit not only impacts the EU-UK trading relationship, but also entails spillover effects that may implicate domestic financial institutions at home. Further afield, chronic weakness in Italy remains a threat to Eurozone economies, and new movements have emerged to seek to disrupt the continent's post-war politics as well. As for China, the days of double-digit growth appear to be gone, but not Beijing's misguided state-run economic plan. China continues to suffer from the politicized allocation of capital, the cynicism towards international economic governance standards,
That rotation was historic.
and of course the absence of the rule of law. In sum, China poses a massive risk, but a risk that defies conventional forms of assessment because its regime lacks conventional forms of accountability and transparency. In both China and Europe, we are facing systemic risks that have few historic analogies. China's growth is expected to decline to its lowest point since 1990, and European Union membership has only expanded, never shrunk, since its origins more than a half century ago. These are different times we're living through, and different challenges, certainly for the Fed and for the Fed chair. That means that the rearview mirror will be of limited usefulness for policymakers in the years ahead. We'll need to confront new sources of uncertainty with new insights and ideas, and the Fed will be essential in detecting and interpreting these challenges. While some of Mr. Powell's predecessors developed a reputation for ambiguity, I'm hopeful that he will pursue a different path, and it's certain that he already has. As he himself has noted last month, greater uncertainty calls for more clarity from the Fed, not less. In the face of risks that we've yet to fully understand, our central bank must be all the more articulate and predictable.
I agree with that last statement there.
The subcommittee chair, Mr. Cleaver, for 1 minute.
I messed up and need to learn my lesson. Every day we got to learn our lesson, right?
Some of what I'd like to focus on in this short amount of time is what I've spoken about.
This is good experience. Like that's gonna happen to you. That's not the craziest move I've ever seen, but that was a pretty crazy move, right? And now you know, like that possibility is out there. You know.
Employment and price stability is key.
That's why I would always have a stop out there, probably 4 ticks away in ZN, because if it goes 4 ticks, something's off. Like if you're 4 ticks off on your entry, something's wrong.
Must have in order to head up our monetary policy in this
I thought the news of the week was when the energy company had its price estimate lowered.
that you, the Federal Reserve members, have received is unprecedented and unnecessary.
Okay, there, I'm filled. Wait, did I take 2 contracts on that?
This is the subcommittee ranking member.
I'm
Mr. Stiglitz, for 1 minute.
confused.
Thank you, Chairman Waters, for holding this hearing. Chairman Powell, thank you for being here today. We're all looking forward to your testimony. It's a really important time, as you know, for your dual mandate, and we finally, through some policies of tax cuts and regulatory reform, achieved an economic growth rate in the 3 to 4% range. We have unemployment at about 4%. But I've got a gift for you to remind you of your dual mandate. Mark's going to bring it to you. It's 100,000 Venezuelan Bolivar note. As you know, their inflation rate's about 65.
I love it, Mr. Stevers.
Or was.
That's
Still
effing
growing.
great.
And they have
Giving the Federal Reserve Chairman
in the world.
$1 billion Bolivar note.
300 million depending on you to continue your stable hard work to give us full employment and stable prices.
This is
Mr. Chairman, I
freaking
look forward to
great.
talking to you today.
Well, they're kind of trying to look like they're gonna come back down a little bit.
Chairman of the Federal Reserve
I don't know what happened there because I don't want to be
served as
long
governor since 2012 and
two
as
contracts,
chair
right?
Since 2017.
I wanted to be
Mr.
out.
Powell has testified before the committee, and I believe he does not need any further introduction. Without objection, your written statement will be made part of the record. Mr. Powell, you are now recognized to present your oral testimony.
This might be some luring though at a 10.5. He wants me too badly.
Henry and other members of the committee.
And I shouldn't. Oh, he wants me to like him too badly and I don't like him.
Policy report to the Congress. Let me start by saying that my colleagues and I strongly support the goals Congress has set for monetary policy, maximum employment and price stability.
Cool.
We are committed to providing transparency about the Federal Reserve's policies and programs. Congress has entrusted us with an important degree of independence so that we can pursue our mandate without concern for short-term political considerations. We appreciate that our independence brings with it the need to provide transparency so that Americans and their representatives in Congress understand our policy actions and can hold us accountable. We are always grateful for opportunities such as today's hearing to demonstrate the Fed's deep commitment to transparency and accountability. Today, I will review the current economic situation and outlook before turning to monetary policy. I will also describe several
Yeah, somebody's luring at 10.5.
practices to enhance our transparency. The economy grew at a strong pace. Employment and inflation remained close to the Federal Reserve's statutory goals. Based on the available data, we estimate that gross domestic product rose a little less than 3% last year, following a 2.5% increase in 2017. Last year's growth was led by strong gains in consumer spending and increases in business investment. Growth was supported by increases in employment and wages, optimism among households and businesses, and fiscal policy actions. In the last couple of months, some data have softened but still point to spending gains.
So here's the E-mini is
While the partial government
perhaps completing its pullback.
hardship for government workers and many others, the
Because
negative
this,
effects on the economy are
jeez, that was a big iceberg down at the bottom of the E-mini.
for the next several months. The job market remains strong. Monthly job gains averaged 223,000 in 2018, and payrolls increased an additional 304,000 in January. The unemployment rate stood at 4% in January, a very low level by historical standards. Ample availability of job and some who otherwise might have left to remain.
Well, shit.
As a result, the labor force participation rate for people in their prime working years, that is, ages 25 to 54, who are either working or actively looking for work, has continued to increase over the past year. And in another welcome development, we are seeing signs of stronger wage growth. The job market gains in recent years have benefited a wide range of families and individuals. Indeed, recent wage gains have been strongest for lower-skilled workers. That said, disparities persist across various groups of workers and different parts of the country. For example, unemployment rates for African Americans and Hispanics are still well above the jobless rates for whites and Asians. Likewise, the percentage of the population with a job is noticeably lower in rural communities than in urban areas, and that gap has widened over the past decade. The February Monetary Policy Report provides additional information on employment disparities between rural and urban areas. Overall, consumer prices 1.7% in December, held to recent declines in energy prices. Core PCE inflation, which excludes food and energy prices and tends to be a better indicator of future inflation, is estimated at 1.9%. At our January meeting, my colleagues and I generally expect economic activity.
I don't know if he's going to say anything important. I think that they post his, like, his stuff, but
Remain strong.
but
Declines in energy prices will likely push headline inflation
what's this?
further below the FOMC's longer-run goal of 2% for a time. But aside from those transitory effects, we expect that inflation will run close to 2%. While we view current economic conditions as healthy and the economic outlook as favorable, some cross-currents and conflicting signals.
Is it out? Okay, it's out.
Volatile
Okay.
financial conditions are now
Well,
less supportive of growth.
I did not mean to be in 2 contracts. Did I? Did I mean to be in 2 contracts? I don't know.
Particularly China
You know what? I don't know what I'm doing here.
is elevated around several
But
government policies.
for that to be -1 on that is kind of sucky. But whatever.
We will carefully monitor these issues as they evolve.
It's only -2 on the day. I really screwed up there, but that move down at 11.5 was unusual. Sometimes that happens. Probably should have been holding that a little bit closer, given that it was like just a tiny little scalp.
Likewise, in contrast to 25 years ago, labor force participation among prime-age men and women is now lower in the United States than most
I
other
do think that you might get another long here at 09 or 09.5, but
relatively stagnant incomes for many families.
yep, mistakes were made.
People with lower incomes also remain.
I think that
Widely agreed that federal government debt is on a
I'm gonna mute him here because it's hard to think. I think that my mistakes today. Normally, when I make a mistake, it could be really bad, but to have made some bad mistakes and be -2 is better than it has been in the past. So that's cool. But you know, what you gonna do? No harms, no animals were harmed in this futures trade. Yeah, the thing that it just sucks that it was like I was there at 11.5 and I thought I was gonna get 12, right? And then this crazy thing down here happened. And look, it's actually more volume down here than it was up here. So obviously I just got caught like in a really, really bad trade that was kind of like a freak trade. So that's kind of where, especially if I'm doing it short, I should be holding it tight, but sometimes you're just wrong and that happens. So I'm not going to say the trade itself was a mistake, but the way that I managed the risk in that situation, I think was wrong. And then on this last one, it probably should have been +1. So I don't know why. I must have taken a second contract and forgotten about it or something, because I wanted to be out there at 11.5. All right. Anyways, so I'm going to post the cryptocurrency notes. I would like you guys to tell me, how are you sizing Seth? For me, it makes a huge difference if I can save a few bullets. Well, I'm only taking it like I'll take 2 if I believe that the trade has a higher probability. Is basically the way that I do it. If it has a higher probability, and if the market seems to be willing to move, then I'll take the 2. Because not only one does that mean that I have a better chance of getting a trade, and if I get a good trade, it can really go, and so I can really make a ton. But if it doesn't take, I know that I'll have plenty of opportunity to keep trading and make it back. So that's why I do it like that. I wouldn't say it completely works out, and I've only been doing that for about 2 months now, so it's still kind of a thing. I feel like I screwed up in a couple of places, right? Like this one right here at 11, I ended up being short 2 contracts, and that's not what was supposed to. That's not what was supposed to happen, Like if I was going to be on 2 contracts trying to get the range here, I should have a really tight stop, and instead I ended up taking a full stop, right? So that's where I made the mistake. Anyways, so I want to know how everybody did today. If you're willing to share that, tell me how many ticks per contract you made. And because I want to like recognize the people that are doing well and try and help out the people that are having trouble. I think that's, kind of thing that I want us to do. But I'm going to post the cryptocurrency notes, so just tell me how you did this session, and when I come back, we'll come and we'll talk about it.
Okay, so really quick, I gotta get going. Negative a lot today, wiped out half of. Oh man, that's no good. I earned it by changing my rules around. Do it more for feeling out different strategies of trying to classify and get accustomed to the process of taking and reviewing trades. Right. So I think what you should do is you should take out a piece of paper and kind of run yourself through a couple of different scenarios. You say, okay, we move up and then we come down and we make a higher low and then we move back up, and I'm right and I make this much. And then if it does this and I'm wrong and I make this much. And if I add a contract here and I take a contract off here and all that, go through those scenarios and see how much you make and how much you lose. And then you need to go through and you need to figure out what the probabilities are on those so that you can figure out, where we are. Anyways, I got to get going. So I will catch you guys tomorrow. In the meantime, stay profitable, friends.